Good evening and welcome to the first edition of the RoddCarr Truck Tour series presented to you here by LSRTV tonight. We are down at Daytona International Speedway. I'm joined in the broadcast booth with Josh Ball and Bryce Whitson Jr. My name is Brian Macklin, and before we get started here, I'm going to give this over to Josh here right away so he can let everybody know a little bit about this series in its season opener. Josh?
All right. We're here starting at Daytona. We have a 15-race championship. Best 12 finishes are going to count towards everybody's championship points. We're going to have 3 drop weeks. It's going to be the same as the I Super Speedway Series, which will take place later tonight, which is 43 points for first, 42 points for second, on down.
Alright, and as we get ready to start here tonight, this is going to be a very exciting race. The trucks, with this new draft package here at Daytona, they present quite an incredible race. Bryce, I believe that this is a type of race that you will enjoy calling tonight as well. We expect to see a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing and probably a couple of big ones throughout the course of the night, do we not?
That's for sure, Brian. I've been watching these guys in practice, and this new truck package is really throwing some of these guys for a loop, but it's also creating a lot of really good pack racing. Also, here in the RoddCarr series on the super speedways, there's no bumping in the corners, and so that really brings the pack together. So one of the keys you have to have is when you're coming up off that corner, you want to be right up behind the person in front of you, pushing them down that straightaway. But before you get to the next one, you got to let it off, and so that really keeps the pack nice and tight.
And we certainly expect it to be a very exciting race here tonight. We have a very full field. It looks like we're going to have about 32 trucks, give or take a few, after we get ready to go racing here tonight. Practice is about to come to an end. They have about 15 seconds left. Right now, Chris Bassini is on the top of the board here in practice. They have about 10 seconds left. And, of course, lap times don't really mean too much here, Josh, at Daytona or Talladega, because it's a lot to do with the draft. More so, it's concerned about, do you have teammates and do you have a partner when you need the push at the appropriate time?
Well, I'll tell you what, looking at the top 2 right now, Derek Walker and Chris Bassini, they're teammates, Big City Motorsports. I know that Derek Walker in the 07 Jack Daniels Chevy is definitely one of the faster people, and he's starting up front in the shootout tonight, so be looking for him to do good.
Alright, and practice has ended. Qualifying is now underway. If it is my understanding, this is going to be a single car, 1-lap qualifying session for these drivers. They will not have group qualifying like we have seen in several series in the real world. So these guys are all going to be trying to find speed for 1 lap. It's going to be single car runs here. So in just a very short little bit of time, we're going to know who's going to start on the front row, and we'll know the rest of the starting grid. It's going to be very exciting. And Josh, real quick, I know you're going to be participating in the Super Speedway Series here later on in a couple of hours. What are your thoughts about that race as it gets ready to kick off?
I tell you, it's going to be a barn burner for sure. I'm sure we're going to have 43 vehicles. I know there's that last chance qualifier to start the night to get into the shootout, and that should definitely be interesting. We have come out with a lot of new rookies this season. I think we added around 20 or so. So they're all going to race for, I think it's 15 spots to get into the Super Shootout. So that should be a great race to watch. And then I think we have 80 laps in the shootout, and usually it's pretty fun. I've won 2 of the last 3 years in it, and it's definitely one of the harder races to win. That's for sure.
And we certainly hope that you can go out there and try to get your 3rd out of the last 4 years, Josh. Thank you. That was a very exciting moment for you, I'm sure. And Bryce, as we get into qualifying here, what do you expect to see? Who do you think is going to be on the top of the board when qualifying is done?
I tell you, in the practice sessions, everybody was so close and always in that tight pack. I didn't really get to see anybody do a single car run, and I think that's going to be indicative of the race tonight. It's not going to be as important about how fast you are on your own, but how fast you are in the pack. And if anything in practice is indicative of what's going on, Chris Bassini definitely knew how to work that draft to get a fast lap.
Yeah, right now we're still waiting for the first cars to take a time. Actually, right now at the top of the board is Ray Rittenauer the second. He is on top with a 49.511. That's a temporary lap. We're waiting to see the rest of the field. But now we have Shane McKeegan going to move to the top of the board with a 49.28. We're going to see these times get fairly close together, I would imagine, because there's really only one way around this track, Josh, where to make speed. You have to run right up against that double yellow line. You can't really come off that double yellow line or you're not going to have a good lap. So I certainly expect to see a very, very tight field here and see the times very close together. Do you?
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. One thing that's different about the truck series from the iSuper Speedway series is iSuper Speedway is going to be a fixed series. Well, this is the first series that's going to be open set. So everybody tonight, has been working on their setups throughout the week and is, posting times. Whereas I normally expect Mark Jorgensen of Handring Motorsports to qualify up front. Currently he's sitting 11th in the qualifying order. Now, I do expect to see the 32 of Seth the Merchant and the number 7 of Rodney Wofford out of Wicked Motorsports to be up towards the front at the end of qualifying.
And with it being open setup, we certainly expect it might spread the field out just a little bit because you're going to see who has the engineering capabilities to put together a strong setup to go to the front. Bryce, you've ran with some of these guys in the past. I'm sure that you know a little bit about what their setup expertise is like. If you were down there on the track, who would you want to be working with in the closing stages of this race to give you the best chance to try to win?
Well, in the experience I've had with this league, I really liked working with Rod Flagg. He was a lot of fun to race around. He was kind of the main guy I worked with. Now, I race with Jared Haggerty in a couple other leagues as well, and Jared, he's a fast driver. He knows where he's going and what he's doing. He wouldn't be bad to be on my team either.
All right, and with a little bit over a minute left, check that, a little bit under a minute left in qualifying. It looks like at the moment Brandon Chaburko is going to be at the top with a 49.242. Ron Thompson's in second with a 49.258. And as qualifying is about to come to a close, we're going to take a chance to go trackside for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back, and we are very happy with that national anthem. They did a wonderful job. And as we get ready to go green, we're going to go down trackside for the starting grid. Starting on the pole here tonight at Daytona International Speedway is driver of the number 3 truck. That's Brandon Chaburko with a very fast lap of 49.242. And to his outside, the number 22 of Ron Thompson. He's going to start on the outside front row in P2.
Starting on row number 2 is going to be the 41 car of Ryan Pylon driving the Winston Chevrolet. Starting 4th on the outside is Shane McKeegan driving the number 28 Haviland Toyota.
On the inside of row 3, we've got the number 32 of Seth DeMerchant, and on his outside, we've got the number 87 of Ray Rittenauer, the second, starting in 6th place.
Starting in the 7th position, driving the number 8 Mountain Dew Chevrolet Silverado, that's Dana Osborne. And to his outside, driving the number 25, that is Kyle Guerre. He's starting P8.
P9 on the inside is going to be the driver of the number 5 Chevrolet, Tanner Mann, in the Hendrick Motorsports car. On the outside of him is going to be the number 79 of Anthony Yankello, driving the number 79 Skyline Chevy.
On the inside of row 6 is the number 71 of Jim Peterson in position 11, and on the outside is the number 81 of Mark Waltz in position 12.
Starting in position number 13 is the 088 of Kent Connolly, and to his outside, driving the number 92, that's Rod Mitten.
Back starting 15th is the number 025 Daniel Ferguson. To his outside, the People's Champ, Mark Jorgensen, driving number 88, Bass Pro Shops Checkered.
Starting 17th will be Jimmy Todd in the number 18 Tide car, and starting 18th will be Rodney Warford in the number 7 vehicle.
Starting in the 19th position, driving the number 1, he was fastest in practice but did not put up a very good lap. That's Chris Bassini driving the number 1 truck, and to his outside, driving the 07, that is Derek Walker starting 20th.
Starting 21st, League Admin, Rod Flagg in number 23 Chevrolet, part of Hendrick Motorsports, and to his outside, number 98 of Greg Hoods in the Rockstar Chevy.
Starting 23rd is going to be number 12 of Corey Henry in the AMD Gaming Evolved Chevy Silverado, and starting in 24th is the AutoZone Chevy of number 83 Raymond Evans.
And as we work through turns 3 and 4, you'll see the rest of the starting grid on your screen. We are getting ready to go green here. It's going to be Brandon Chaburko leading the field down. We're going to have a 50-lap race here under the lights at Daytona. We're looking forward to it. And real quick, one last thought from you, Josh, before we go green.
I think it's going to be a lot of 2 to 3 wide racing tonight, and it's going to be one heck of a show.
And we look forward to it. Pace car is in. American Ethanol green flag in the air. We're underway. 50 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. Brandon Chaburko stands on the loud pedal. He has a very big lead over the 3rd place car at the time. Now he moves up to the outside in front of the number 22 of Ron Thompson. Ducks back in line to the inside line. Now he's looking for a push as they go through 1 and 2 here. He's going to have to get help from that 41 if he's going to maintain this lead as they come off turn 2.
Looks like the outside. Looks like the outside, the number 22 car of Ron Thompson is getting a push from Shane McEachin on the outside. 2-car tandem. Looks like Brandon Chaburko has definitely the more cars on the inside line. Looks like he's going to prevail in the top.
It looks like those top 10 are all going to stay together in a little pack. They're about ninth place. There's a little gap back to the rest of the field. Our first 3-car battle is somewhere around 15th, and it's looking pretty tight so far, guys.
As they complete lap 1, Brandon Chaburko is going to lead the field. He managed to sneak back out just barely by about a half a truck length as they cross the start-finish line. Now they work through turns 1 and 2. Once again, the 22 is looking for a big push from the 28, from Shane McEachin there on the outside line. He's going to have a few more cars lined up if he's wanting to have anything to do with this race lead right now. Down the back straightaway, here comes the 22 of Ron Thompson. He's got a big run. He's got a big push. They cannot bump in the corners, so they have to separate. Otherwise, they will get a penalty there. So you see those guys separate, and now Brandon Chaburko pulls back ahead as they come off turn 4.
Looks like you got a couple more trucks lining up on the outside behind Shane McEachin. Got about 6-7 cars now on the top line, and bottom line still prevailing as Brandon Chaburko keeps it out front in front of Ron Thompson.
That number 87 of Ray Ritterini, he's kind of stuck on that outside, just dropping back quick, guys. He just can't seem to get any help out there, and as they come here through turn 3 and 4.
Right now we have about a 14 truck breakaway at the front. Everybody back behind them has fallen in single file for the time being behind them, but the top 14 remain double file mostly through the entire pack. We have a couple of stragglers at the end trying to hang on. One of those drivers would be the number 12 of Corey Henry. He's trying to get a big suck up off the draft from behind all these guys, trying to get closed back in on the front pack here. He's got a big run now. He's going to close back in on the back bumper of these guys. I don't know that he's wanting to get involved in this race too soon, though. Could we see some of these guys use a little bit of a laying back strategy, Josh, until the later stages of this race, or do you think we're going to see most of these guys just go up here and challenge for the lead right away?
I think a lot of them are going to try to go up and challenge for the lead right away, but then again, there could be some strategy playing in. You only got 70% of your fuel in this race, so definitely everybody's going to at least have to pit once. I see that Seth DeMerchant is almost a half lap down by himself. Now, I don't know if that was a planned strategy or not, but I don't think it's that good of a strategy by yourself. So, but it looks like there's a definite, you know, split in the field right now. Guys up front 2x2, single car line behind them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jimmy Todd in that number 18 is bringing up that second group, and I'll tell you, I don't know where I'd rather be at this point in time, up front trying to lead this thing or back in that second pack. But you know, I'd look for, as soon as their pit window to open, some of those guys in that single car line to drop down to pit road and try to take advantage of some single file running and get a little bit of a lead on everybody else.
Meanwhile, back at the front, Brandon Chaburko jumped to the outside line off turn 2. He tried to make it. Now we're 3 wide for the lead as the number 22 of Ron Thompson did not want anything to do with it. He jumped to the outside. He's got a line of trucks behind him. He's bringing the 28 and the 71, the 79, several others up to the outside line. 3 wide now. That's going to hand the lead over to the number 41 of Ryan Pylan in that Winston number 41 Chevrolet SL or Chevy Silverado. Still 3 wide through the pack now. 3 wide for the lead. Chaburko is looking for help in that middle line. He has nobody behind him right now. As the 8 slides up and they touch in the middle of 1 and 2, they're still 3 wide as they come off turn 2.
And the 3 car clears the number 22 and the 8 car. Back in line, going back 2x2x2. It looks like the outside finally decided to calm down. That middle sometimes gives you a good sucker hole, and you can go right up through there and actually get a good amount of draft and get your speed going. So Brandon Chaburko back on the outside in front of Ron Thompson here, going back for the lead as we're coming to the start-finish line. Looks like he's still going to be about a half a car short.
And the 22 gave the 3 of Brandon Chaburko a nice little bump there as they went across the line. The 3's got a nice head of steam, but again, the 22's going to have to back off going into corner 1, and they're going to kind of lose some of that through the center of the corner. And here comes Brandon Chaburko again, the 22 sucking right up on him. They touch, and Chaburko's back in the lead.
I have to say, early on, I have to really say that I like that 3 truck as he slides to the inside and takes back the lead. He dropped down to the inside in front of Ryan Pylan and took the race lead back. So far through 7 laps, I have to say that I think Brandon Chaburko might have the best truck here. He's been able to make the most moves out of anybody up here on the front. He went to the outside line, and then when he didn't have help in that middle line, he was still able to stay up there with the race leaders and actually able to clear that outside line. I think having open setups that allowed them to really work on this truck, and it certainly looks like he's got the best truck here. Josh, would you have anything to try to beat him if you were out there on the track tonight?
Well, I definitely hope. I think so. That it looks like we're going a little bit of contact there between the 41 and 22. Seems everything's back together now. But, you know, Brandon's one of the most aggressive drivers in our league. As you see, he's going up to try to block the outside as Ron Thompson gets a huge run into turn 3. Shane McEachin's looking to get back to his bumper here, coming off of 4. It looks like I think that 22 may take the lead here, Brian.
I'll tell you, I've been watching this second group here that's being led by Jimmy Todd with Rod Minton, Rod Flagg, Larry Camp. Those guys have been single file, and they've really broken away from that backpack, and they've been catching these leaders real quick. You know, that seems like a really strong group. They've been switching off really, really well and able to make a lot of speed out of those trucks. So I'm wondering if they were just hanging back there for a little while just to stay out of the mess here at the start of the race.
It certainly would seem like that. They are about a second and a half off the main pack here right now. You can see we now do have about 18 trucks in the main pack. 16 trucks in the main pack. It's still Corey Henry in that 12 truck, and then the 7 of Rodney Walford running the tail end of this line, and then you have a group behind them that have fallen back about a half a second or so, and then another group that's about a second back from them. So certainly starting to see them fall back, but I'm sure that this is just a strategy play on their part. They see how crazy these guys are racing at the front and probably just don't want to be there for the time being, as they are coming up on some lap traffic up here at the front. The 32 of the Seth DeMerchant is going to stay up by the outside wall. He's going to get out of the way and show respect.
We got one
they
spinner.
have one around on the back straightaway. He's down on the apron. I don't believe we're going to have a caution. Josh, did you catch what number that was?
No,
It was the number 87 truck. He went around. Ray Rittenauer the second. I'm trying to see. It looks like there might have been a little bit of contact coming off turn 2 as they were trying to get around that truck on the outside line. There was contact with the number 28 machine. He got sent down onto the apron and actually made contact with the inside wall. Heavy contact. You see the replay on your screen now. Just a little bit of contact between the number 87 of Ray Rittenauer and the number 28 of Shane McKeechin. A very devastating blow for those guys there, as there's damage on both race trucks, and they're certainly both going to need a caution at this point. Josh, I believe that with super speedway racing, you can't afford to have any fenders to be bent whatsoever, or it's going to take you out of contention in a hurry, will it not?
Oh, that's for sure, definitely. Anytime you get any bent up fenders, especially with an open set, you're looking for disaster that way. Just to let you know, the 41 car of Ryan Pilon has just taken the lead away from Brandon Chaburko on the inside. Looks like Brandon's coming back towards the front here now, but looks like Tannerman will be able to push Ryan back to the front here going into turn 1. Oh, looks like Dana Osborne might be trying to take it three-way. Oh, contact between number 22, and I can't see who was behind him. Looks like they were able to save it. Bryce, do you have a better angle on who he hit?
I'll tell you what, that number 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. just got the worst of that one. He got hung out dry on the outside there, and he's just been falling like a rock now. But looking back up front, it looks like Brandon Chaburko is going to go for that lead again, getting a nice push by Dana Osborne. Here they come, coming out of the corner, and maybe he'll get it completed again this time.
Coming off turn 4, Brandon Chaburko is trying to pull that outside line around back to the lead. He is not able to do it as they cross the stripe and complete lap 12 and begin working lap 13. Now it looks like the 8 truck on the outside slid up like he was going to make a move to the outside for 3 wide, but he thought better of it for the time being. He's going to stay in line behind that 3 of Brandon Chaburko. Meanwhile, the 41 of Ryan Pilon and the number 5 truck of Tanner Mann are pushing around that inside line. They're doing a great job at holding on to this front lead here right now, as the 8 again makes a little bit of an aggressive move. Looked like he was going to try to sneak out. Could he possibly be looking for air on the front end of that truck? Could his truck be overheating from being behind Brandon Chaburko too long, Josh?
I definitely think so. You know, these races are definitely in the heat. So, you know, about these laps, we're on lap 13 right now, going on 14. A lot of these trucks are heating up. You know, getting behind somebody, definitely have problems with overheating in practice, as I heard. You know, so we're kind of in a staggered spot. As we see, we're all double wide here. It seems like maybe too many people are hot to push. Bryce, when do you think we're going to see the first set of pit stops? Or
yeah, I think as soon as one of these guys get in their pit window, I feel like it's better to get into the pits as soon as we can. Oh, we've got a wreck there around 7th place.
The number 81 of Mark Waltz got right hooked hard into the outside wall. There was contact between him and the number 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Mark Jorgensen was on the outside of him and came down, made slight contact with the right rear of the number 81 of Mark Waltz. And we have our first Service Master clean caution of the race. That's going to bring everybody down. And you are now going to see the replay on your screen. Just a 3-wide moment gone wrong for the number 81 of Mark Waltz and the number 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Unfortunately, those things happen here at Daytona. That was a very small version of the big one, but that was a big hit for the number 81. And Josh, I do believe we were just talking about fuel. I think we'll probably see all these guys down on pit road now. They have the opportunity to come down under caution. They don't have to worry about losing any time on the racetrack, so I would certainly believe we're going to see them on pit road.
Definitely. I think you're going to see everybody come down, take probably either 2 or 4 tires, but definitely going to get it full of Sunoco racing fuel. The 2 that got in the crash, luckily it was only 2 truck wreck. They're going to be able to come down. This series also runs 1 reset, as does the I Super Speedway series. So they'll be able to come down, get those trucks fixed, and go back out there and maybe get a little bit racing a little bit cleaner here for the last stint that we have. And as we're coming down to the entrance of pit road, I'm going to turn it over to Bryce as we're coming down.
It looks like the majority of the field here, they are going to hit pit road, and it's going to be headed off by Ryan Pilon, Brandon Chaburko, and Tanner Mann, and we'll see what the strategy call here is.
As all these drivers work their way down pit road, the number 41 of Ryan Pilon, the number 3 of Brandon Chaburko, Tanner Mann, all these guys looking for their pit boxes. It's going to be interesting to see. Do they do fuel only? Do they do 2 tires? Do they take 4 tires? We know the tires aren't very necessary here at Daytona. Everybody looks like they're going to do left sides only. I don't see any right side tire changes, and as they come out of the pits, Ryan Pylan's going to win the battle off pit road just barely over Brandon Chaburko. As these guys come off pit road here, you're watching a very impressive battle. We're going to give them a chance to sort everything out. We'll sort out the running order when we come back. We're going to take a chance to go take a break. This is LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Welcome back to LSRTV, presenting the RoddCarr Truck Tour Series here at the Daytona International Speedway. We're working our first and so far only caution of the evening. As we stand right now, Jared Haggerty is out in front. They had a very fast pit stop on pit road. They have moved out to the race lead. Ramon Evans is going to be in second place at the moment. And then our leader before the caution came out, Ryan Pylan, is third. Brandon Chaburko is fourth. And Tanner Mann is fifth. And Josh, through that first stint there, we had a lot of exciting racing at the front. We still have about 33 laps to go. We're going to probably go back green with around 31 or 32. What do you expect to see these guys start doing now that they might be in their fuel window? We're not sure with the 70% fuel tank that they have if they're going to be able to go to the end. But if they can, how much is the racing going to pick up? How much is the intensity going to pick up for these guys?
Well, you know, I think we're getting close to halftime. Halftime usually ramps up all the drivers get ramped up. They're like, all right, I need to get to the front now. There's not going to be that second pack of cars, I don't think. As the lights on the pace car go off, we're going to have one lap to go before green. You know, we're going to look to see on the inside this time. We got Jared Haggerty and then Ryan Pylan, which was out front most of that run. Followed by Tanner Mann on the bottom side. I think that's a good combination of three trucks that they'll probably be able to prevail on the bottom.
Yeah, and let's not forget Brandon Chaburko up there. He's been really strong all race. He's been showing a lot of speed there on the outside. But the big question that I have at this point is, can you make it on fuel? I mean, you know, we're going to have about 30 laps of green flag racing here when we go back to green, and you know, I wonder whether or not these trucks can actually make it to the end from here.
Yeah, 30 laps is going to be quite a long way to go for these guys. I think the normal window for fuel is about 40 laps. So if my math is right on that, I don't think they're going to be able to go a full 30 laps. I have a feeling they'll have to be on pit road. It's probably somewhere about halfway towards the end of this race, which would be about another 18 or 19 laps from now. Which would be a pretty good little run. That's about what we had here this first run. They were probably fast approaching pit stops under that first green flag run, so certainly going to be exciting to see. And now we have a couple of new people at the front, so it's going to be very interesting. Jared Haggerty and Ramon Evans. We haven't really heard too much from them. They qualified 24th and 26th, and now they're going to be leading this field to the green. Josh, what do we expect out of these two up front as we get ready to go back green?
Got two very good racers on the front row. They're definitely gonna be able to stay out there with the big boys. I think there's gonna be no problem. I don't think they'll get shuffled out. I look maybe the Brandon Chaburko to get them. As we're coming down, get ready for the green flag. Green, green, green. The 57 car is getting pushed by the number 41. Outside, 83 Ramon Evans is getting a really good push from Brandon Chaburko and the number 7 of Rodney Wofford. Looks like they're gonna actually pull ahead and take the lead here, going into turn 2. And that outside always gets a great run coming off the corner. So I look to see maybe the 83 get a great run down the backstretch and maybe take over the lead here.
And it looks like the 57, Jared Haggerty, is going to get the lead on the backstretch there with a nice push from the number 41. But that 3 of Brandon Chaburko, he's just really wanting to get to the front. He's pushing hard on the 83. And here they go into turn 3 and 4. The 41 backs off of the 57, but the 22 is still right up there with the 5. So they're really testing the limits of that no pushing in the center of the corner right now, guys. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be very interesting to see if there's any penalties handed down for going too far and crossing that line. Right now, we have not seen any penalties handed down yet, but we do believe if something happens, we're going to see that. Brandon Chaburko is doing a very good job here. He's not pushing that 83, but he is as close as he can get. There, you could slide a piece of paper between those two, but he's not pushing him. There's actually a little bit of a gap between those two trucks. Now he's allowed to push him as they work down the back straightaway. He can lock on to that 83 truck and push him all the way down the back straightaway. Never mind, the 83 of Jared Haggerty is going to, of Ramon Evans is going to drop to the inside line and take the lead. He's going to jump down in front of Jared Haggerty. And now that opens the door for Brandon Chaburko, who I believe has had one of the strongest trucks all night. He's going to get a big run off turn 4. He's actually going to take the lead by half a truck. Then he's going to lead lap number 20. Coming to 21, he takes the lead. Brandon Chaburko back to the point as they go down into turn 1.
Looks to go to the bottom on the inside here. Looks like he's going to have to stay up in front of the number 7 of Rodney Wofford, going down, coming off a turn 2. And now I know Brandon's going to take any first chance he gets going to the bottom. He is going to take it once he's clear. It looks like he's going to be clear here, coming down the backstretch. See if the number 7 car, a little bit of push in there. Almost got the 7 squirrely. 3 car is clear. Will he take the bottom? Yes, he will. Nope, maybe not. He's back up in front of the 7. Looks like he thinks he has a little bit more help up on the high line right now. He's got the number 7, Rodney Wofford, followed by the number 28, Shane McKeechin. Oh, getting a little touchy there in the tri-oval between Ramon Evans and Rodney Wofford. We're all 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back. Looks like some hard racing up there right now, Bryce. You think it's too early to go at it, or are they doing the right thing?
I'll tell you, I'm seeing a lot of really aggressive moves right here, especially with 25 laps to go in the race. I don't know that I'd be pushing this hard, moving around like they are. What's really interesting, and the 3 goes to block the 7 and almost runs him down into the 57 and Jared Haggerty. I tell you, this is getting really aggressive. That 7 was really strong, and I think he's getting a little impatient with the 3 of Brandon Chaburko. Down there on the bottom, the 83 and the 57, they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're keeping up with the 3. They're just staying right there to his inside, not giving him quite enough room to get down. But with as much pushing and shoving as there is going on up there, I just don't know if that's a smart move at this point in the race.
And while all that's going on at the front, I just want to take a chance to talk about somebody who actually just received the lucky dog under that caution, Seth DeMerchant. He went a lap down on that first green flag run. He lost the draft and went completely a lap down. He got it back, and now he's up in this main pack. He's in the 18th position right now, but he is slowly and methodically starting to work his way up through the corners. And I actually just got word from race control. They are reminding these drivers, no bumping in the corners. They're trying to give these guys a chance. As Brandon Chaburko out front, he has a big lead. He was able to clear the 83 and the 57. He drops down. He loses that push from the 7 truck. There's contact as they go through the tri-oval. The 7 truck made contact. That's Rodney Wofford. He actually led that lap. Brandon Chaburko back to the inside line, and back to what I was alluding to. We had race control warning these drivers. They've seen something they don't like. They're telling these guys, if you do this too much, we're going to penalize you. So they're certainly looking out for it. It's only a matter of time before they start handing down penalties to these drivers.
Yeah, currently we got 24 cars under a blanket, all 2 by 2 all the way back to 24th. We got a couple of cars that are hanging back right now. We got a big wreck, big, huge. There's is the big one. We got 15 cars in it.
That started with the 7 truck of Rodney Wofford. He was trying to slide down in front of the 83 as they came off into turn 3. He did not have enough room to do it. He got turned across the front of the 83 truck, and from there, melee ensued. At least 10 trucks, probably more. We're going to get a total on those in just a moment for you guys. You see the replay on your screen. The number 7 truck tried to squeeze down in front of the number 83 as they went off into turn number 3, and there just was not enough room to make that move. And unfortunately for Rodney Wolford and for Ryan Pilon and a host of these other drivers, that was the big one here at Daytona International Speedway. And Josh, we knew that was a possibility, and now we have got it. We've seen the big one. We just took out a ton of contenders, and we know some of these guys already used their reset and will not be able to repair any more damage. For the rest of them, they'll still be able to get back out there, but for the guys that have already used their reset, this is going to be a big, big moment.
Oh, definitely. And I was just looking back through the field, and the only person that I see, at least back for a while, Brandon Chaburko, is the only one that doesn't have any damage currently, and he was the one out front. Now, I saw 2 or 3 cars hanging way, way back, but you know, right now the only car I see in the top 10 that aren't wrecked out is Brandon, and he's the only one that doesn't have any damage.
Yeah, that was a huge wreck on lap number 24 of 50, just shy of halfway, as we do see several drivers coming to pit road. One driver that did not pit right there was Brandon Chaburko, and another one that I was actually just talking about before that wreck happened, the number 32 of Seth DeMerchant. He was a lap down just about 10 laps ago. He took the lucky dog. He got back on the lead lap. He avoided that wreck, and now he's going to be in the 3rd position here after that wreck has happened. That's just how big this wreck was. It took him from about the 19th position when that caution or when that wreck happened all the way up to 3rd, and that's incredible for him because that puts him in a good position to try to win this race.
Oh, that's for sure. And you know, really, Brandon Chaburko and Shane McEachin, they were very lucky to get through that and just happened to be up in front of it. Like I was saying, I just thought it was really early in the race to be sitting there and pushing and shoving like they were, especially like the 83 who'd already used his reset. So it's going to be unfortunate for a lot of these guys, and it's going to end a lot of them's night very early.
Yeah, big wreck on lap number 24 here in the RoddCarr Truck Series debut. We are going to take this opportunity to step aside one more time and do a little bit of business here for LSRTV. I am Brian Macklin, and this is LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
Well, my night's done.
Welcome back to the RoddCarr Truck Tour Series debut here at the Daytona International Speedway. I'm Brian Macklin. I'm joined in the broadcast booth tonight with Josh Ball and Bryce Whitson Jr. And as we get ready to go back green here, we're going to take a chance to catch up with one of the drivers involved in that wreck, driver of the number 57 truck, Jared Haggerty. I believe Josh Ball has actually caught up with him down on pit road.
Yeah, I'm here with Jared. We just got it out of the infield care center. I saw your truck flipped and flipped and flipped. How are you doing? Are you all right? And what did you see there?
I'm fine. I'm just really disappointed. I mean, I had already used my reset from damage I had gotten earlier in the race, but there was just really nothing I can do. It looked like Rodney came across the 83's bumper there, and from there I just couldn't do anything about it. But I mean, I gotta thank the boys at Hold Your Line Racing. They found me a spot on their team last minute, and Ramon, Larry, Tommy, if I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I mean, they did such a good job, and we made an excellent call short pitting there. But I mean, overall, that wreck was just—it was absolute chaos.
Tell me what's going on out there. We're glad to hear you're okay and everything's going. But is everybody amping up the racing, or was there anything being said between any of the drivers when you were out there?
Not really anything being said. Just a lot of really, not a lot of give and take racing there. I mean, I saw the 7 come down on Ramon quite a bit there. I'm not calling anybody out, just from what I saw out there. But I mean, it's not a lot of give, not a lot of take out there. So yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting with us quick here, Jared, and hope next week we'll have a better showing out from you. And glad everybody's okay again. I'm going to send it back up to Brian as we're coming out of turn 4 to take the green flag.
Yep, coming out of turn 4, they're going to be completing lap number 28, coming to lap number 29. That's going to leave them with about 23 laps left on the book, 22 laps left on the book, my apologies, as the iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car ducks to the safety of pit road. Brandon Chaburko is going to lead them to the green one more time. American Ethanol green flag in the air. He gets on the loud pedal. He's got a big push from the number 32 of Seth DeMerchant. That damaged truck, number 28, Shane McKeechin on the outside line, did not get going. He's got a lot of damage to the right rear of that truck. He is not going to have any help here as they get going. He is already way off the pace. Everybody's scrambling to try to get around him. Ryan Keese in the 10 truck was not able to get around him. He's pinned behind him. Now he gets to the inside line. As they come off turn number 2, we are single file at the front through the first 5 or 6, maybe 7 trucks now, as everybody scrambles to get around the number 28 machine as they work down the back straightaway here at the number 3.
Oh, wrecking.
And we have a wreck in the back again. No caution as of yet, but they stay green at the front now. The caution is out. We have to get a number here real quick. Josh, did you catch that?
Yeah, I was watching it as it was happening. It looked like it was right around the Shane McKeechin area because he was a little bit slow there. And it looks like it was a number 7, a Rodney Wofford again. As we go back to the replay, as you can see here, it looks like we were just, Shane was trying to get to the bottom, but as he was trying to get there, it was just causing a lot of backup in the corner, and had a big wreck right here again. Second time, just in a couple laps. Bryce, what'd you see?
I tell you, the 28 was just falling back through the pack, and I think it was checking everybody up a little bit, and there's a little bit of a chain reaction there. He pulled down in front of the inside line, and a couple guys let off the gas, and I think it spooked some of the people near the back, and they just kind of piled up together.
A big wreck on lap 29 on the restart lap of that restart right there. That works in favor of Brandon Chaburko, who I was actually just wondering. He did not pit under that most recent caution, and we were talking earlier about the fuel strategy. And with this 70% fuel tank, if they could make it to the distance, or make it the distance from when they pitted around lap 17 or 18, this has to certainly help his cause. The same with Seth DeMerchant. For these guys having another caution to slow these cars down, or these trucks down, they can ride around here and coast and save some fuel. They might be able to make it to the end without having to pit now, would you think, Josh?
Yeah, I think, the 3 car and the 32 are probably going to be able to get there on fuel. As long as they're able to save here under the caution. It'll be close, definitely. But, it looks like the 3 cars pretty clean. The 32's clean. We've got a lot of other cars behind them. The wreck was a little bit further in the back. I think everybody's going to be saving under this caution and hopefully be able to get to the end.
Yeah, at this point in time, it looks like from the last pit stop, the top 7 all stayed out. So the first person back there who took gas the last time was Matthew Quick in the. So you know, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. There may have been enough. There may be enough caution laps here for Brandon Chaburko and the rest to get through the pack, but and get through the race. But you know, I'm just not sure yet.
We are working under caution here, just inside 20 laps to go here at the Daytona International Speedway. Brandon Chaburko out front. We're actually going to see if we can get in touch with him and see if we can have a quick interview with him under this caution. We'll let you know about that in just a moment. Right now, though, Brandon Chaburko out in front with Seth the Merchant in the second position. Rod Mitten is third. Derek Walker is fourth. Kent Connolly is fifth. Ryan Keese is 6th, Jimmy Todd is 7th, Matthew Quick is 8th, Tanner Mann is 9th, and Dana Osborne rounds out the top 10. And now that we are inside 20 laps to go, I have to believe this is going to be a wild showdown of a race here in the last 20 laps. They're going to go back green. We've seen 2 cautions happen almost back to back, and we haven't even gotten to the point where we're going to be racing for the win. You're going to see some 2 and 3 wide racing here in the closing stages of this race, and Bryce, I'd have to venture to say there's going to be some guys that have been in the middle of the pack that haven't really shown a lot that are going to try to get up there and make something happen in the last 20 laps here.
I would think so. At this point in time, we're at the time that you just need to decide to go instead of lay back. You know, with only 20 laps, you need to start looking at what type of capability you have to get through the field, who it is you can work with, who you can't work with. You know, one of the things that I've been seeing here from the admins recently is they're really getting on guys about blocking lines. They're getting on people about pushing and shoving. And honestly, I don't think we've seen anything yet when it comes to that. What do you think about that, Josh?
You know, I think it's definitely been some pushing and shoving tonight. I'm gonna try to catch up with Derek Walker real quick. Let's see if we can get him in the truck. Derek, you got a copy?
10-4.
So, how's the racing been going out there tonight? I see you're sitting P4 right now, it looks like. Tell me what you've been seeing. How's the car handling? What's going on?
Well, I've been hanging around the back with the big city boys most of the race here, and we just kind of wanted to let the wrecks play out and save some fuel. Right now it's working out in my favor, although I believe Chris and Greg both got caught up in that last wreck, unfortunately.
So, how's the fuel looking? I mean, I'm not going to throw out any strategies to anybody else, but you looking good right now, or are you guys still a little close on fuel? How long has the run been able to been going? I know you guys got 70% fuel.
Yeah, we estimated that we would have to make it about, I think, 15 laps before we had to pit, and I believe everybody pit on lap 13. So, honestly, I think a few people are going to be close, but if we get more of these cautions, we should be fine.
All right, it looks like you're going to line up 4th here behind Seth the Merchant. How's that outside been working? Been working pretty good?
Well, you know me, I always like to be on the outside as much as possible, but I haven't been up there today. I've got a little bit of right side damage, so we'll see if I can stay with him here. Hopefully I won't fall off too much, but I think we got a shot out here. These trucks are they're running smooth, and everybody seems to be able to hold it straight.
All right, sounds good, Derek. Well, good luck the last couple laps of the race, and thanks for chatting with us. And I'm going to throw it back up to Brian, and good luck again, Derek.
10-4, thank you, Josh.
All right, and that was driver of the number 07, Derek Walker. He currently sits in the 4th position. He's going to be starting on outside of row number 2 when we go back green. The lights are off on the iRacing Ford First Mustang, so when they get back around to the start-finish line this time by, they'll see the American Ethanol green flag. For Brandon Chaburko and Seth the Merchant, they've needed these cautions. They did not come to pit road on either of the last 2 cautions that we've had, and we heard from Derek, they're tight on fuel. They estimate they can go around 15 to 16 laps on a tank of gas. We have 17 laps to go, and that's quite a ways outside their window, and they haven't been on pit road in quite a while. So, Josh, that's going to make it very tough for these guys to go to the end.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while since I've been on pit road. I think the number 3 car hasn't been on pit road for 16 laps. You know, another thing that's worrying me is we only got 27 minutes left in the race. You know, it could come down to a time limit, which would not be very good. But you know, 17 laps left, 27 minutes. If we had any more cautions, we might be on the verge of that. Anyway, we got the Ford Mustang peeling off, coming down to the green flag. Getting ready to get on the grass. Green, green, green. There goes the number 3 Good Riddance Service Chevrolet, Brandon Taberco on the bottom. It looks like he's number 92, Rod Minton, is not very close to his bumper at all.
Yeah, the number 3's up there all by himself going into turn 1, and it looks like that outside lane's going to have just enough, maybe not quite enough momentum to get around there. That 32 just doesn't have quite the truck that the 3 has. And right behind them there, the number 07, D. Rick Walker, is pulling up behind Brandon Taberco, and they're going to try and make a run on the inside.
Working down the back straightaway, they are 3 wide in the middle of the pack here. The number 8 thought about it for a moment. He got back in line for the time being. And this is the time to do it. You're running out of time here. They're coming back to the stripe, and they're going to have 16 laps to go. You can't afford to stay too wide for too long. You're going to have to try to make your moves and make something happen here. Brandon Taberco pulling that inside line around. He's had one of the best trucks all night, and his closest competition, Ryan Pilon, was involved in that humongous wreck back about 15 laps ago. And currently, Ryan Pilon sits back in the 18th position. He's at the tail end of this pack here. He was able to use that one reset that the iSuperspeedway Series officials have allowed these drivers, so he was able to get back into it. He just has to get his track position back. He certainly has one of the best trucks, but for the time being, he sits back in the 18th position. Meanwhile, up at the front, Brandon Taberco still holds that inside line. Seth DeMerchant trying to pull the outside line around. He's got help from the 07 of Derek Walker, but right now does not have the momentum or the speed that Brandon Taberco and Rod Minton have on the inside. They have cleared the first 2 trucks on the inside line. They are clear of the outside line now. Seth DeMerchant makes a big run as they go through the trioval, working lap number 36 now, and Seth DeMerchant with a big charge trying to take the lead back.
Yeah, it looks like the top 5, definitely. Brandon Taberco's been up there all night, but got some new faces. You got Rod Minton pushing him down the backstretch right now. We haven't heard too much from him. Seth DeMerchant just 10 laps ago was a lap down. So he is doing a great run back up through the field, sitting, pushing for the lead right now, going into turn 3. Coming from a lap down, that's definitely some great work by that team. You got Kent Connolly up there, started in 13th position, up to 4th. He's, we got one in the wall. Not sure, it looked like that was Rod Flagg that possibly got in the wall, maybe not. Oh, nope, that was the Ron Thompson, number 22 Chevrolet, that got up in the wall there, stacked up the outside a tad bit. Now, Bryce, do you think, with 16 laps in Brandon's last pit stop, do you think he can make it to the end, or is he gonna have to come down and take a splash?
I'm showing at this point in time, he's run about 22 laps on that tank of fuel total. Of those, I'm going to estimate that somewhere around 18 of them were under caution. So that puts somewhere around 5 to 10 laps on his tank as it is, and we've still got another 13 to go. I'm really questioning whether or not these guys can make it to the end. And, I'm thinking before all is said and done, they're going to have to come down and grab a little bit of Sunoco race gas.
And while we wait and see what happens with the drivers and their fuel strategies, we are going to continue to watch this exciting battle here. Brandon Taberco is still trying to pull that inside line around. He's able to clear that outside line pretty much every single lap as they work through the corners. It shows me that he's got a very fast race car as Rod Minton jumps to the outside line in front of Seth DeMerchant down the back straightaway. He's got a big run. It looks like he's going to be able to make something happen. They're scattering. They're 3 wide. Rod Minton's going to be able to take the lead. And at this point, he stays on the outside line in front of Seth DeMerchant. Ryan Pilon makes a big move back behind these guys, trying to work his way back to the front. But as we work off turn number 4, the number 92 of Rod Minton with an aggressive move down the back straightaway takes the lead, working lap number 39 now. And Josh, what an incredible move that was by Rod Minton.
Yeah, where did he come from? Like, I was just talking about him, but where was he all race? I mean, Rod Minton up to the front, took one iSuperspeedway A-main win last year. Oh, looks like the 22 just got back into the 10 car. Little bit of, doesn't look like too much give and take at this point. It looks like everybody's, gunning for the top, need to make the move now. I'm surprised they're not 3 wide yet. We're coming up on 10 laps to go. Still 2 by 2 by 2. Got a couple stragglers in the back. Rod Minton out front. I don't expect the 3 car to stay back there. As soon as he clears Seth DeMerchant on the outside, I bet watch the 3 car. Up, just as I said, there goes Brandon Taberco on the outside, getting a push from number 32 car of Seth DeMerchant, followed by number 07. Looks like they're going to have a big head of steam going out of turn number 2. Let's see if they can take the lead.
Yeah, I tell you, that outside lane has been really good at making aggressive moves. The 32's been an amazing pusher for whoever is in front of him, and you know, we're going to see what happens here. It looks like now the 10 car is getting ready to be hung out to dry. Ryan Keiss might be going backwards at this point in time, and there it is. The 22 of Ron Thompson goes up the center, and Ryan Keiss is just on that outside lane, and he's just going to be falling back to the back of the pack, guys.
3 wide back there around that 10 truck of Ryan Keiss. He got shuffled to the outside line, and now he's a sitting duck. He's able to fall in behind the number 41 of Ryan Pilon. Ryan Pilon has slowly and quietly made his way back up inside of the top 10 as the number 22 gets a little sideways coming out of the trioval, manages to hang on, but that was a scary moment for all these drivers. As I was talking about Ryan Pilon, though, he's slowly working his way back up there, and we saw him at the beginning of the race. Him and Brandon Chaburko clearly seem to have the 2 best trucks in the field, and if he can get back up there, if he can get some clear running room, he's going to get up there and challenge these guys for the lead. It's going to be a completely different battle at the front. Meanwhile, Rod Mitten still trying to hold on to the lead down on the inside line as they work through 3 and 4. Brandon Chaburko is squeezing that inside line down, trying to get as much side draft as possible so he can try to take the lead back at the stripe. Brandon Chaburko leads this lap. He's almost clear of the 92 of Rod Mitten. If he gets clear, will he drop to the bottom? The answer is yes. He drops down, and now he's your new race leader on the inside line.
Man, it looks like everybody is out there beating bang, and I'd hate to be a car owner this week because you're going to go back to the shop, you're going to have everybody's car is going to be beaten and banged, you know. From the front, it doesn't look like there's one car that doesn't have some sort of bent fender, as the number 32, Seth the Merchant, takes the lead away from Brandon Chaburko. He just dropped right down in front of him and didn't even see it coming. Must have had a huge run. Looks like we got one car warping here a little bit. But as I said, Seth the Merchant out front after being a lap down just not too long ago, maybe 20 laps ago. Who do you see as the favorite here going into the last couple laps here, Bryce?
I'll tell you, I'm going to actually pick up on Ron Thompson there in that 22. I've been watching him the last 2 or 3 laps, and he has methodically been working that outside line to get up to the front. And I've noticed whoever's in front of him gets a really good head of steam on the push, and there it is, the 22 of Ron Thompson gets a heck of a run down the backstretch, and he's going to the front, guys. He's cleared and pulls down just in front of the number 32 of Seth the Merchant, and Ron Thompson is going to lead this lap, I believe.
Off turn 4, Ron Thompson is your race leader as he comes down to the stripe. He's going to lead and complete lap number 43. And I was just talking about him about 3 laps ago. Here comes Ryan Pilon on the outside line. He has made his way back up from the back after being involved in that wreck, and he is challenging for the lead as they go through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Pilon with a big run and a push from the number 5 of Tanner Mann. We have not seen any more warnings from the admins or from race control about pushing, as now Brandon Chaburko jumps to the middle. He's going to make it 3 wide, and they're wrecking Seth the Merchant. He saves it for the time being, and now Brandon Chaburko in the wall. Caution is out on lap number 43 or 44. We have a big wreck, at least 5 or 6 trucks involved. Matthew Quick, Tanner Mann is involved, Brandon Chaburko, Seth the Merchant, a big wreck on lap number 44. That's going to slow this field down and set them up for possibly a green-white checkered when we go back green here. And Josh, I believe you saw that coming a little bit quicker than I did. What did you see from your perspective as the replay goes up now?
Yeah, as you can see, we're going down into turn number 3, and it looks like Brandon Chaburko just tried to make a 3 wide on the backstretch. He had a little bit of hole. He was there below the number 5 car of Tanner Mann, between him and Seth the Merchant. And it looks like Brandon actually came up toward the number 5 a couple times before sliding down into Seth the Merchant, causing the second big one for tonight, as he's going to have a lot of damage at the end of this one where he was able to escape last time. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back through. We only got a couple laps left, and we're looking at like maybe a 1 or 2 lap shootout, possibly, even if they go back to green. What do you think, Bryce?
Yeah, when they get back to green, it's going to be a 1 or 2 lap shootout, and I'll be honest, nobody's going to be your friend and nobody's going to be your enemy. It's just going to be every man for themselves. And you know, I've been kind of listening to the scanner traffic here, and it sounds like some people are a little upset with Brandon Chaburko over that move. He was being a little bit aggressive there with so many laps left. But you know, right now my favorite is Ron Thompson though. He's been very strong with somebody else and by himself. So I look to him to kind of move up at the front of the pack and go from there. So.
Yeah, Ron Thompson certainly looks to be one of the favorites here. He's one of the few trucks up front that does not have damage from that wreck. I'm looking at number 41. He does have damage, and most of these drivers at the front not electing to come in to take a reset if they still have one. Most of these drivers were involved in our first big one about 20 laps ago and do not have another reset. So they can come down and they can let their pit crew work on the trucks a little bit, maybe try to get the fenders beat out, do the best they can to try to get them back out there on the track and be able to put enough speed to keep up with the draft. But for some of these guys, they have elected not to do that. They know we're only going to have a 1 or 2 lap shootout at the very most, so just hoping for another quick pileup maybe, and then they can just salvage a good finish in this first race of this new series. And for Ron Thompson, this is a big break for him. He has a lot of damaged race vehicles around him. It looks like Ryan Pilon might be he does have damage, but maybe the number 8 of Dana Osborne made it through there clean. And we see damage on the number 92 of Rod Mitten, the same with the number 18 of Jimmy Todd. Derek Walker has a little bit of damage, not anything major. He might be okay. But for Ron Thompson, he's going to be in the catbird seat here, Josh. He's not going to have a whole lot of people behind him that are going to have clean race trucks to make a challenge for this win.
Definitely not. And, you got some guys up there we haven't seen all night. We were talking about the 92 Rodman. He's sitting in 4th. I think he's got a little bit of damage. But Ron Thompson, up there pretty much all night. He qualified 2nd, running 1st right now. I think they're good on fuel at this point. We're coming around for the last couple laps. It's only going to be a 1 or 2 lap shootout. Between him and Ryan, I think Ryan's got a little bit too much damage in my opinion. I think the 22 may be able to get down to victory lane tonight, and it's going to be his first win that I know of in the iSuper Speedway Series between RoddCarr, Rod Truck Tour, and the iSuper Speedway Series, so I'm sure he'll be a big smile on his face. Bryce, my pick's Ron. Do you see anybody else here in the top couple that might be able to challenge him in a 1-lap shootout, or do you think it's going to be between him and if that 41 could get a push?
Well, I think the 22 is definitely the cleanest truck up there. The 8 of Dana Osborne, most of the damage on that truck is in the rear. So, if they get a little bit of a push in the back, they might be able to go up and challenge Ron for that win. But, Ryan Pilon, he's got a lot of damage on the front of his truck. And so I'm going to I hate to say count him out, but I think he'd be best to drop back and push one of the other trucks up there and hope for a good run.
The other big question mark in all of this is, can these guys make it to the end on fuel? A lot of these guys at the front have not been on pit road in over 25 laps. We heard from Derek Walker that they thought the pit window was around 15 to 20 laps. Of course, we've had a lot of caution laps in this last stint of this race, so that has certainly helped out. But with 4 laps of remaining in this race, we do have to wonder, will these guys make it to the end on fuel? Of course, again, we've seen a lot of caution laps, but Ron Thompson hasn't been on pit road since around lap 20. That's working almost 30 laps. That's almost double what we heard Derek Walker saying that these guys could go on a fuel run. So, Josh, if I'm these guys, am I sweating bullets here trying to make sure I'm going to make it to the end on fuel? I hear several of these drivers clutching it and shutting their engines off, trying to save every little drop of fuel that they can as we get ready to go back green. We should see the one to go this time by, but do we expect to see any of these guys running out as we come to the white flag or possibly the checkered?
Possibly. I'm going to try to get down there and see if I can get Ron Thompson on the radio. See if he's good with fuel at least. Let's see if we can get him on the air real quick. Hey, Ron Thompson, this is Josh Ball up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Josh. Yeah, go ahead. I got you.
So you're out front. You got a couple laps left. Looks like you're going to go back for a 1 or 2 lap shootout here. What's going through your mind right now?
Man, right now I'm sitting here hoping Dana can push me strong, and we got Pilon on the outside. I think that this Miller Lite Chevy can hold him off. As you know as well as I do here at Daytona, it's going to take a couple helpers here. So hopefully everything will be good and work out in our favor. Would love to have the first tribute race here for the 22.
We're all up here just watching you guys out there. It seems to be a big beating and banging race here. One question on our minds is, do you have enough fuel for this last little bit right here?
Yes. I actually have more to keep the back end down, so I can be more streamlined and push into the front here. You want less drag.
All right, Ron. Well, you're coming around the turn 3 here. I'm going to let you get back to it. I know you're coming down to a great restart. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll be able to get to talk to you in Victory Lane here in a couple minutes. I'm going to throw it over to Bryce, and good luck.
That'd be great. Hey, I appreciate it. And LSRTV, I appreciate you guys. Here we go.
All right, back up to Brian, and for the start of the last restart.
We are going to have ourselves a green-white checkered here under the lights at the Daytona International Speedway. 2 laps remaining here for Ron Thompson and Ryan Pilon. The iRacing Ford First Mustang's only going to duck to pit road one more time. If he comes back out, this thing is over. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. Ron Thompson on the gas. He's got a big push from the aid of Dana Osborne as they go across the line. 2 laps remaining, and we are going to settle this thing here. If we get a caution, the race is over, so these guys need to get back to the white flag. Once the white flag comes out, anything that happens on the racetrack, they will race back to the checkered flag. Ron Thompson works through turns 1 and 2 with a big push still from Dana Osborne. Ryan Pilon with no help on the outside line. Rod Minton is too damaged to give him a push, so it's a 2-truck breakaway on the inside line. Now it's going to be up to the number 12 truck of Corey Henry. Can he make a move pushing the 07 of Derek Walker? As they work through 3 and 4, Josh, we're going to come down and see the white flag.
Coming down to the white flag, Ron Thompson still in front of the kickoff 125. We're going to have 2.5 miles left. Oh, Dana Osborne out to the outside. Ron Thompson's going to block. Oh, down to the inside. Oh, spin in. Oh, big wreck. Well, we're staying green. The 41 car is still in front. The huge wreck behind everybody. All right, we're going off into turn 1. It looks like Ryan Pilon is out there by himself. Will he be able to hold on to it? It looks like he's got the number 3 car, Brandon Chaburko, in his rearview mirror, but that's a big gap coming down the back straightaway. What do you see, Bryce? You think he's going to be able to do it?
Ryan Pilon's got a really good lead there on number 3 of Brandon Chaburko, and it's clear sailing behind them. Ryan sails it off into turn 3 and 4. He's going about the center of the line right there, and he's going to duck down here off of 4. Brian, what do you got coming to the line?
Coming off of turn number 4, avoiding the big wreck and coming down to take the first checkered flag of the RoddCarr Truck Tour Series, Ryan Pilon is going to take the checkered flag under the lights here at Daytona International Speedway. Coming home in second is Brandon Chaburko, and we are waiting for the remainder of the field to come across. Looks like Ray Rittenauer is going to get 3rd, Kent Connolly is going to get 4th, Tommy Hall is going to get 5th, Rod Flag 6th, Matthew Quick is barely going to come across in 7th. Seth DeMerchant is just now crossing in 8th, and we're waiting for the remainder of the field to cross. Looks like Jimmy Todd is going to come home 9th, and I'm going to give you a chance here. Replay is up of that big accident that we just saw, and Josh, what was your vantage point of that wreck as they came to the white flag?
You know, I saw it looked like Dana Osborne was trying all he could to get around Ron Thompson, number 22, and it looked like he got under him there, coming to the white flag, and Ron just decided he was not going to have it and turned down and unfortunately caused the big one, took out pretty much everybody behind 4th place, as it looks like. The 41 and the 3 were the only 2 on the outside that squeaked by that. The 32 car was involved. Pretty much the rest of the field behind that 41 and 3 car, just that mayhem coming to the white flag was pretty crazy. I mean, another huge wreck tonight. That's like the 3rd or 4th one. Bryce, you know, when we're coming down there to the white flag, it looked like it was going to be a photo finish, but all of a sudden everybody's gone, and then Ryan Pilon's out there by himself. What did you see?
You know, Josh, that's one of those things that can just happen at these super speedway races. You know, you get down to the last couple laps and you've got to fight for every single inch. You know, Dana had a good run and Ron came up to kind of block him, and when he did, it just you know, Dana made a move and Ron didn't like too much of it and came down and just wasn't clear. You know, that's unfortunately that's the beast that we have here at Daytona as well as at Talladega here in a few weeks, and you know.
All right, and as Ryan Pilon finishes up his celebration, we're going to go to commercial break one more time, and when we come back, we'll have our post-race show where we're going to catch up with your podium finishers, Ryan Pilon, Brandon Chaburko, and Ray Rittenauer. This is LSRTV, the voice of sim racing, and we'll be right back.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
It's been a very long off-season. Teams have changed, sponsors have changed, colors and all, but one thing that hasn't, they like to mash the loud pedal. Green flag is out on the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series season.
iRacing is the ideal platform for these broadcasts because we have the best racers, the best online racers in the world, and we have such a variety of racing, from NASCAR to Grand Prix style racing, sports car endurance racing. We do it all.
Since 2010, the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series has been the absolute pinnacle of road racing in a simulated form. Great start then by Yakoda from the front. They're packing up behind number one. They're going to be 4 wide as they come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Will they make it through that first corner? You can see they're funneling through the center S's. It looks as though everyone is just about made it through. We have got ourselves some contact though, Rachel.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage, but Ottinger's not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Ottinger gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Ottinger's run.
We do a lot of live broadcasts now. Every Tuesday is NASCAR night, so on alternating Tuesdays we do the Peak Antifreeze Series, and on the other Tuesdays the B-Class Series, which is the Xfinity cars, and sometimes we'll even do some short track racing depending on the schedule. Every other Saturday we do the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, so the best road racers we have. And we also broadcast some special events, including the Endurance Championship, which is part of the Road Warriors Series. So we broadcast the Daytona 24, the Sebring 12 hour, we'll do the Watkins Glen 6 hour, with several other races along there. And then of course the iRacing Pro Racing Champions, which is usually our biggest and most watched event of the year.
That is short track racing, and that's how awesome this sim is, Joe. That's something you see on TV on highlight reels, and we just saw it here, live.
We invite iRacers who are real world racers, and they compete every December. Guys like Alex Gurney, Justin Wilson, Scott Speed, Ron Capps, the list goes on. Really some big name drivers from all major forms of motorsport. It's really neat to see them get together and race together.
See Laughlin up top, down to the ball, gets turned! Laughlin gets turned! Caution is out foul at the front of the field!
The easiest place to find the broadcast is on our website, iracing.com/live. So you can find some of our races on fanschoice.tv as well. A nice place to find iRacing broadcasts.
You can also find it at mrn.com and peakauto.com.
Welcome back to LSRTV's coverage of the RoddCarr Tour Truck Series here at the Daytona International Speedway. I'm Brian Macklin. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight was Josh Ball and Bryce Whitson Jr. We actually have moved down onto pit road where Bryce Whitson Jr. has caught up with our third place finisher. It is going to be Ray Rittenauer in the number 87 machine.
Ray Rittenauer in the number 87 Captain Morgan Silverado Chevrolet. Man, I was watching those last couple laps. You were coming to the white flag in about 16th place, and all hell broke loose in front of you. Tell me what it was like driving through that pack of cars.
Oh, it was awesome. I just closed my eyes and hoped for the best, and I found a lane and made it through.
Tell you what, coming to that white flag, I know you were pushing hard and you were doing the best you could. What'd you think when all those cars spun out in front of you? Did you think you were gonna make it through it at first?
No, I thought I was done at first, and then when it opened up, I just gunned it.
Well, that's some impressive driving, getting through that field there and bringing it home in third place. Do you have any sponsors or anyone else that you want to thank here at the end of the race?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dingleberry Racing and Rod and you guys for putting on a good show.
All right, that's Ray Rittenauer the second, who finished third place here today, and I'll send it to Josh Ball, who's caught up with second place finisher Brandon Chaburko.
Down here on pit road, the Brandon Chaburko, the number 3 car. Brandon, so what was going on in that race? We saw you came away with second place. Might have been a little controversy on a couple wrecks. Tell me what you had from your perspective.
I had obviously started on the pole, so that was good. It was rather easy to maintain the track position. And once we got involved in that one little scuffle with Tanner there, we were able to somehow manage to get back up to second. I don't know how.
Yeah, we were definitely looking at it. We saw you in that previous wreck, and I wasn't sure you were ever going to get back to the front. And then all of a sudden, after that wreck, we saw the number 3 car coming up through the field, and you were right behind Ryan there at the end. And did you think you had any chance of catching him, or were you guys both damaged and just no shot there at the last lap?
No. Whenever the white flag flew, I knew that I had too much damage, and I had already told Pilot could win. I was happy with second, though. I mean, it's nothing to complain about for sure.
Yeah, this is their third race removed from the suspension for a couple months. You're back in the groove now. You finished first last week in the I Super Speedway Season 4 finale, and coming home second tonight here in the RoddCarr Truck Tour Truck Series. You think you're back in your groove, or?
Yeah, I guess. As you know, being a driver as well, Josh, it's just really, with plate tracks, it's, it can be anybody's game, I guess. And, I feel like we'll have strong cars each and every week. I'd definitely like to thank the state of Georgia for providing us with this setup, Rodney for clearing himself, and Good Wrench for coming on board, and most definitely my spotter, Jason Altman.
All right, Brandon. Thanks for catching up with us this evening. And now I'm going to send it down to Gatorade Victory Lane with Brian and the winner of tonight's race, Ryan Pilon.
Yes, I have caught up with driver of the number 41 Winston Chevrolet Silverado, Ryan Pilon. As they come to the white flag, you're up on the outside line. You're getting a big push from Brandon Chaburko, and all of a sudden they start wrecking underneath of you. What was your thought as you took the white flag, seeing all that carnage going on behind you, knowing that you didn't have any challengers coming to the checkered flag, and you just had to sail home for one lap and take the checkered flag?
Really, I wasn't concerned after that point. But yeah, watching that wreck and everything unfold up under me, that was pretty intense. I thought I was going to be in it for sure. Chubbs pushed me and got me clear of it. And then as they all got collected, right when it happened, and I looked back, I was hoping that there was only one truck behind me, and it was Chubbs. So I knew that he was broke at that point, and I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and throughout the entire race, we saw a lot of exciting racing, lots of 2 and sometimes 3 wide racing. Of course, you were caught up in the first wreck, the first big one that happened early on in the race, and with the one reset that the iSuper Speedway Series officials allow you, you were able to get your truck completely brand new and go back out there and give it another shot. I saw you, I was watching during that last stint there, you stayed in the back for a little while until things settled down, and then you made a hard charge to the front. Of course, that was a very smart move for you. Was that planned, or was it just because there was nowhere to go as you were trying to work your way back up through the field?
Yeah, it wasn't really planned. I knew I had to get to the front, and I kept kind of just darting up towards the wall to try to get that third line and see if anybody wanted to go. And when nobody went, I figured either I'm going to be stuck back here and finish, 18th, 20th, or if I go up here, I might be able to get a few spots. And I cleared about 4 or 5 trucks, got back in line, and then was just able to work my way up. And put me up in the front, and I won the race.
And what an impressive victory that was for you. Before we let you go finish celebrating, I want to give you a chance to give your sponsors a little bit of a shout out. Any friends or family that you want to say hi to before I let you go?
Of course, I'd like to thank Chubbs and everything like that. We were working real good together at the front of, or the beginning of the race, and then right there at the end, he gave me that final little push. And then, of course, Kevin Swindell was injured in an accident out at Knoxville this past week and whatnot. And he and I used to run a lot of the Arca Sim racing with Chase Austin and stuff. So I'd like to give a shout out to him. Hope he's going to pull through okay and let him know that people care about him.
All right, and we certainly are thinking about him as he tries to recover from his injury. We hope that he recovers very nicely, and I'm going to let you go ahead and go back with your team and celebrate, Ryan. Congratulations on your victory, and we look forward to seeing you in this series again in the future, and hopefully you can come back and get in victory lane a couple more times. Take it easy, bud.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, that was driver the number 41, your winner tonight, Ryan Pilon. Real quick, we're going to go back upstairs and we're going to get a couple of last thoughts from Bryce Whitson Jr. and Josh Ball. I'm going to start with you, Josh. It was a very impressive race, a lot of action and a lot of excitement. Was it everything you expected, or was there more that you were looking for?
I tell you what, for the first race of the Truck Series, we're going to be going to non-super speedways after this week. But I tell you what, that was a demo derby, if I can say so myself. I saw it was 3-4, the big ones, as we call them, and tonight, and trucks flipping over, so many wrecks. But it definitely came down. There was a lot of excitement all night long, side-by-side racing all night. A couple times we went 3 wide. It was definitely a good way to open up the Truck Series for the RoddCarr Truck Tour. Bryce, we saw a lot of great racing tonight, and now we got a couple more races. We got the last chance qualifier coming up for the I Super Speedway, and then the I Super Shootout. What do you think everybody's gonna be able to cool their heads, or you think it's gonna be the same?
I would hope that people could get a little cool, but I'm sure going into that last chance qualifier with them only having a few laps to make it into the big field, it'll be an exciting last chance qualifier and definitely an exciting shootout with everybody coming from this truck race. But I'm really excited. Honestly, I'm looking at the truck tour schedule here for the next couple of weeks. Got Atlanta and Darlington coming up. Both of those are going to be real exciting races. And if tonight was any indication of what they're going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun this season watching these guys get around these tracks.
It was certainly a lot of fun here tonight, and at the end of the day, when the dust settled, Ryan Pilon came home with the victory. It was a very exciting race. We had several big wrecks, and we had one coming to the white flag that did not result in a caution, and when it was all said and done, once again, Ryan Pilon came home with your victory. And as we get ready to set sail here for the evening, we're going to be back on the air in just a little while for the iSuper Speedways shootout. For the Super Speedway Series here in just a little while. So if you're involved in that race, Josh, I do believe you're involved in that race. We certainly expect to see another exciting race. And for us up in the broadcast booth, we're looking forward to calling yet another very exciting race. I am going to go ahead and close the show here tonight. I am Brian Macklin. We had Josh Ball in the broadcast booth. We had Bryce Whitson Jr. And then, of course, we had Laura Lawson, our executive producer, pushing all the buttons behind the scenes and making all of this possible. And for her, we are very thankful. Once again, I am Brian Macklin. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you again next week and later on here tonight. This is LSRTV. Have a good night, guys.